Stadium for this afternoon's Great Lakes Regional matchup between Oberlin College and your Baldwin Wallace University Yellowjackets. Here's the starting lineup for Oberlin. Number 00, Isabel Smith. Number 6, Maddie Kimball. Number 7, Michaela Dilemos. Number 8, Madeline Linham. Number 10, Michaela Jones. Number 11, Sydney Severies. Number 16, Lucy Friedel. Number 18, Bethany Jen. Number 20, Louise Metz. Number 21, Olivia Weeks. And number 23, Olivia Smith. Now here's the starting lineup for your Baldwin Wallace Yellowjackets. Junior goalkeeper from Medina, Ohio, number 0, Sophie Widener. Senior defender from Cincinnati, Ohio, number 3, Bree Osborne. Junior defender from Dublin, Ohio, number 4, Morgan Gray. Sophomore midfielder from Brunswick, Ohio, number 7, Kayla Webb. Junior defender from Dublin, Ohio, number 10, Kenna Poptic. Senior forward from Massillon, Ohio, number 11, Rachel Bender. Sophomore midfielder from Dresden, Ohio, number 12, Kenna Stones. Sophomore forward from Gibsonia, PA, number 17, Caitlin McGuire. Sophomore defender from Pittsburgh, PA, number 18, Josie Fenn. Junior forward from Berlin Heights, Ohio, number 27, Claire Cuthbertson. And finally, senior midfielder from Stowe, Ohio, number 30, Cass Wakeman. BW is coached by Jim Whitekin, assisted by Tara Bowen, Allie Whitekin, Chris Kraft, Taylor London, and Vince Milner. Now at this time, we ask that all fans please rise and kindly remove your caps as we honor America and those who protect our freedom at home and abroad with the playing of our national anthem.
Coming to you live from George Finnie Stadium on the campus of Baldwin Wallace University, it's time for the OAC Yellowjackets Women's Soccer Opener. Baldwin Wallace and Oberlin College. It's actually a non-conference game here to start the home slate for BW. 1-1 on the season, but they finally get a chance to play here on their home field. Hope you're enjoying your weekend. I'm Brendan Gulick. This is going to be a very wet Saturday, and by some small miracle, it really isn't raining very hard at the moment. If you look at the radar, there is a very small white circle over exactly where we are, and it seems to be raining everywhere else within, almost 100 miles in every direction. It is going to be a very wet Saturday afternoon and evening. There's a football game here at 6 o'clock tonight, which is guaranteed to be a very wet night. So, thankfully, we've got at least some reasonable weather here at the outset of the game, and the ladies can get going on what is actually kind of a cool Saturday afternoon. The temperature is in the low to mid-60s. Baldwin Wallace in the white, gold, and brown, and of course you've got Oberlin in their, I guess you'd call them red. It's more maroon and gold. And we're underway here, the home portion of the schedule in 2018 at Baldwin Wallace. Let's give you the starting lineups. Junior goalkeeper Sophia Widener back in there for Jim Woitkin, who is in his second year leading the charge, following the far side of the field. Along with Widener for the Yellowjackets, it's senior Bree Osborne, sophomore Morgan Gray, sophomore Kayla Webb, junior Kenna Poptic, All-OAC senior Rachel Bender, sophomore Kenna Stones, sophomore Caitlin McGuire, sophomore Josie Fenn, junior Claire Cuthbertson, and senior Cassandra Wakeman. You heard lots of sophomores in the starting lineup. There are a whole lot more sophomores and freshmen on the bench. This is a pretty young team for Jim Woitkin, but the ladies that he does have returning are pretty good and certainly saw some playing time last year. And I think he feels pretty confident about even the young players on the team, because a lot of the young players saw playing time a year ago. So the Yellowjackets are feeling fairly confident after an 11-8-1 mark last year and a 4-4-1 record within OAC play, and a OAC quarterfinal appearance. Was the fourth consecutive year that the Yellowjackets have made the OAC postseason tournament, but they lost at Otterbein in the OAC quarterfinals. So the goal this year is to try and have a better season than they did a year ago. And when you've got Rachel Bender leading the way, you certainly feel good about your chances to do just that. Rachel Bender is basically as good as they come in OAC women's soccer. She is incredibly talented and all-conference player for a reason. On the other side, an Oberlin team that is also pretty decent. I mean, they had a really solid year last year at 9-4-4, but it feels like they aren't exactly off to the start this season that they'd like. 1-2, coming off a win, but lost their first two games of the season. And they've got a freshman in net, and that probably has something to do with it. Isabel Smith, a freshman from Minnesota, is the starting goalkeeper for Oberlin. Maddie Kimball, Michaela De Lemos, Madeline Lynham, Michaela Jones, Sydney Severis, Lucy Friedel, Bethany Jen, Luis Metz, Olivia Weeks, and Olivia Smith are the other starters for the Yo women. Third minute of action, no score between BW and Oberlin. Again, very early in our contest here this afternoon. There's Rachel Bender right in the midfield. And she's been held fairly quiet so far at the beginning of the season. 6 shots for her, but she has not yet scored. And this is a player that BW so heavily relied on last year. Bender was a 2-time academic All-OAC forward and a 3-time All-OAC performer on the field. And really has done just about everything you could want. She was the co-forward of the year in the conference. She had 16 goals and 8 assists last year, currently second in BW women's soccer history in both goals and points scored as the Yellowjackets work it into the offensive third. What's disappointing about the way the season has started, the Yellowjackets have lost sophomore Olivia Muldoon for the rest of the season. She has a knee injury and will not be able to return for BW. There's a shot ripped wide left, but good little look on goal. 41 minutes, 5 seconds left on the first half clock. That shot came off Kayla Webb's right foot. Anyways, really disappointing for Olivia and for the team that she's not going to be able to go the rest of the season. We'll have to see what BW can do in her absence. Oberlin up the left flank. Can't penetrate the back line immediately. Maddie Kimball working to her left, and then it rolls away off to the right. Corner kick, first one of the game. We're going to do everything we can to keep our crowd microphone accessible for you so you can try to hear some of the natural sound. But as the rain intensifies, it is kind of blowing in the direction of the press box this afternoon, and we really don't want to get our equipment wet. So we'll do everything we can to keep that up there for you for a little while. In the meantime, Oberlin on the corner kick, still loose in the middle of the box. It was Morgan Gray that tried to clear it, and a follow-up shot from Oberlin went out of play off to the left-hand side. Widener chose to roll it out. It becomes a turnover in a bad spot as Oberlin lost control of it. That was Michaela Jones thinking she could go to her left. Baldwin Wallace 1-1 in their opening weekend of action. A 2-0 loss to Penn State Barron, but a nice 2-0 win over Thomas More last weekend, including a couple of goals from freshman Olivia Kane and Anna Wenzinger. Played into the middle of the field. Wakeman lays it back toward Osborne, and she connects with Bender. Here's Kenna Stones, who had a really nice freshman season. Now a sophomore out of Tri-Valley High School. Bender controlling the ball up the right side. Turns back to her left foot. Nice in-swinging cross. Couldn't connect with McGuire, though. Yellowjackets with Josie Fenn playing left back. She'll press up a little bit in the offensive formation. It's kind of the style of play nowadays where the backs, certainly the outside backs, tend to press forward and help initiate an attack. It was certainly not always the case. Oberlin thinks they've got a breakaway here. Savarese toward the corner. Kimball with the right foot. It's a good-looking ball over the backside. Trying to connect with Savarese, but she misfired. It's a goal kick, but a good-looking sequence there for Oberlin. Yo women are coached by Dan Palmer. 6th season at the helm for Dan Palmer. Of course, the biggest challenge for Oberlin this year is that they graduated last year's Conference Offensive Player of the Year, Gwenny Gardiner. Gwenny scored twice in a 3-1 victory over BW in the third game of the year last year as well. These two teams played each other early in the season. Gardner graduated last May, 21 goals, 5 assists last year. But 2 of those 21 came against the Jackets, and they were the only 2 goals scored in the second half of that game. Time for BW to set up for their first corner kick. Perhaps they could take early advantage. 36 minutes, 42 seconds left in the first half. It's a short corner. Bender lays it into the middle. Tipped back up in the air. Oberlin doesn't clear it out very well. In some traffic. Cuthbertson racing after it. Played back ahead. Gray looking for McGuire. Mini collision, but Isabel Smith does a nice job closing down on it. All right, the Yeowomen work through the midfield and up the left side where Maddie Kimball has an opening. Plays a beautiful ball forward and a great kick save by Widener. Fabulous effort by Oberlin's Sydney Savarese, but a great save by Widener. Throw in for Oberlin. Well, unfortunately, the rain is starting to pick up just a little too much, so we're going to have to bring our crowd mic in. We apologize that we won't be able to give you any of the natural sounds of the game at this point. Still a throw in for the Yeowomen. Oberlin racing up the end line. And it rolls across for a goal kick. Widener having a difficult time here early on, getting the ball out of her half of the field defensively. It's kind of hurting the Yellowjackets a little bit. Very well done defensively there. Long clearance up the field by Cass Wakeman. Osborne sends it out too. No doubt that Osborne is an anchor in that defense as a senior with a group that's fairly young. To have her back there really helps solidify things. Takeaway by Kenna Poptic. Long ball played ahead for Bender. It's a good one. Rachel centers it, but Oberlin's defense stands in there. 32 minutes, 45 seconds left in the first half. No score between BW and Oberlin. There are a few other games going on with OAC action this weekend, and we'll try to get you some scores, but I can at least tell you who's playing in a moment. McGuire couldn't get there. And it's played up toward Michaela Jones. Case Western Reserve, a non-conference opponent, but a Cleveland area school. They're going to be out at Ohio Northern today. Case coming off of a really nice win last weekend, 3-0 over John Carroll. And now they're going to test themselves against one of the best teams in the league, the Ohio Northern Polar Bears, and one of the best teams in the nation, a top 10 team in the country. Otterbein is on the road. They're at Center College, which is down in Kentucky. Mount St. Joe's visits Wilmington in a Cincinnati area matchup. Defiance is at Heidelberg. Mount Union tonight, actually, I beg your pardon, this afternoon, Mount Union at 3:30 plays at Westminster. And then the Capital Crusaders, a 7 p.m. kickoff tonight with DePaul. 31-22 left in the first half. Still scoreless, but Oberlin is building some momentum. They've outshot BW 3-1 here in the first half so far. Well, Josie Fenn Tried to head it and missed it. Oberlin applies more pressure. Long ball played ahead. Widener has it easily on one hop. Little tapper ahead. Fenn with a left foot, rolls it up. Maybe something here for Kayla Webb. Sent it a long way up for Cuthbertson, as Bender has mostly occupied the left forward spot. Rachel turned and sent one in Claire's direction, but behind her, pulled away by Bethany Jen. The majority of Oberlin's players, not surprisingly, are from outside the state of Ohio. In fact, there's only a couple on their entire roster that are from Ohio. Crystal Gluchowski is a young lady from Mason, Ohio, down in Cincinnati. And Grace Hayes, another freshman, she's from Sagamore Hills. Everybody else is from outside of not just the greater Cleveland area, but outside of Ohio. That's not a huge surprise. Oberlin's recruiting base is certainly a national brand. Oberlin makes a sub here and brings on Sammy Clanton. And it looks like she just replaced Olivia Smith, a sophomore from Maplewood, New Jersey. Yeah, Oberlin's team really is from all over the country. California, Minnesota, Indiana, Texas, Maryland, New Jersey, Colorado, Virginia, Washington, D.C., New York. They have run the gamut on recruiting from all over the nation. But again, that's kind of the case with most of Oberlin's sports teams, given the nature of the academics at Oberlin College. Throw in for the Yellowjackets. And since that's the case, I have to imagine we probably have a decent viewership today of Oberlin fans. Rachel Bender tried to head it on net. It was a beautiful diving save. Glanced off the post. How did it not go in? And then the Yellowjackets with a rebound goal. Kayla Webb makes it 1-0.
That's a BW goal for number 7, Kayla Webb, with that assist on for number 27, Claire Cuthbertson.
I want to give Rachel Bender some credit here for a second before we go back to Webb, because you don't often see at the Division III women's level players that are able to drive the ball on a header. Most of the time, the headers are sent back up into the air, or they're just kind of soft. And while Rachel probably didn't spin that as well as she wanted to, she really headed a pretty good ball toward that right post. And Isabel Smith made a really nice diving save. Had she not gotten a hand on it, that ball would have unquestionably went in. And then, of course, it deflects off the right post, and the Jackets stayed with it. Found Kayla Webb right in the middle of the box, and Webb slotted it home. That was a beautiful goal, and a good job of just staying persistent on the offensive side by Baldwin Wallace. So Webb's got her first goal of the season. That's a big one for her. On the other side, Sophie Widener's got it. Last year, Webb scored twice in her freshman year, so her third career collegiate goal. This Yellowjackets team got off to a pretty good run last year. They won their first 2 games before losing 3 in a row, including to Oberlin. But then the Jackets got really hot. They beat Case, Bluffton, Hiram, Defiance, Grove City, and Marietta. 6 wins in a row. to move their record to 8-3. And at that point, they got into the heart of conference play, where things tightened up on them a little bit. The only draw the OAC schedule gave them was a 1-1 tie here at home with Mount Union. BW lost to Wilmington and John Carroll, Ohio Northern, and Capital in the regular season. They also beat Muskingum, Heidelberg, and Otterbein along with Marietta, but then fell at Otterbein 3-0 after beating them 1-0 here at home in a really nice game. 26 minutes left in the first half. And the Jackets have a 1-0 lead thanks to Kayla Webb. Light rain here in Northeast Ohio at the moment. If you live locally, it's going to be a very soggy weekend. Bender, some quick footwork, quickly got around Louise Metz. Now Webb spins one off the side of her foot. And Isabel Smith scoops up the loose ball, trying to connect with Cuthbertson. Really like what I'm seeing up front from Baldwin Wallace in this game so far. The other thing that tends to happen, and we've seen Oberlin do it actually several times already, when teams play the ball up the side of the field, and a lot of times drive toward the corner, they don't often play the ball in the air in toward the middle of the box as we get an official's timeout here for a moment. I think they're going to change the call and say it's an Oberlin throw-in, not a BW throw. We're 20 minutes in. BW has a 1-0 lead. Anyway, so often teams drive the ball down into the corner, and then they try to play it low on the ground in the middle of the box. And inevitably, there are players from both teams crowding that area. You just don't see the D3 women's game played through the air very much. And that's why I want to point out that I think BW's done a really nice job of that so far, on top of the goal that was started off of Rachel Bender's header as Rachel runs onto this one. We've seen Kayla Webb throw him through the air trying to center it. Bender on the move, throws it right in the middle, and it was barely out of Cuthbertson's reach. Beautiful pass by Rachel Bender and nearly a second goal. This connection up top right now is working pretty well for BW. Webb heads it over the top. Kept alive for just a minute, but the opportunity fizzles out. Morgan Gray did a pretty good job there defending Michaela Jones, who has certainly made her presence felt here in the opening 20 minutes. Another BW sub. This time it's Kenna Stones who checks out. And one of the goal scorers in that Yellow Jacket win, Anna Wenzinger, freshman from Bishop Watterson down in Columbus. She comes on for the first time. Really busy weekend for the Yellow Jackets athletic teams, not just here on campus, but all across the spectrum of competition. Volleyball program with two nice wins yesterday. They beat Potsdam State 3-1 and Cazenovia 3-0. And those matches were played at Brockport State, which is one of the New York State universities. So the volleyball team got two more wins. Men's soccer had a tough one yesterday. They lost at Manchester by a final tally of 4-2 after a nice win on Tuesday, 2-1 over Worcester to open the home portion of their schedule. And the men's soccer team will get back in action at Allegheny on Wednesday night as Webb launches from long range. It deflects off of Smith and goes in. Kayla Webb from about 35 yards away as Smith couldn't keep it in front of her. And Baldwin Wallace leads 2-0. A 2-goal game for Kayla Webb. After Kayla Webb had just 2 goals as a freshman, she's got 2 goals today. And a great start for BW here in the first half, despite the fact that they've played a lot more defense in that first 10 minutes. Now the team's in really good shape. Long ball over the top, played for Bender. Keeps it in play. And even though it rolls out, it will be BW ball. Bender off the right foot. There will not be a corner kick because Bender was fouled. Instead, it's going to be a free kick. And for BW, it's probably a better angle. Just outside the top corner of the 18-yard box. Referee paces off 10 yards. Oberlin sets up the wall. And if the Yellowjackets are smart here, Poptic will take this quickly because the wall is kind of off-center. Poptic tries to bend one toward the net. It's punched over the top by Isabel Smith. It's a nice save by Smith, but the freshman keeper didn't get her defense lined up properly, as the Yellowjackets are going to take the corner kick on the far side, not near side. And it nearly cost Smith because it gave Poptic a really good look at the net. Smith was basically given a free look at it. Poptic could see the goalkeeper from where she was, and Smith was playing right in the middle of the net. All right, so a corner kick here for the ladies. And it just goes over the top of everyone. Wakeman, the last possible target. Another sub coming on. It's a Yellowjacket sub. Sydney Graneman. She's coming on for Cass Wakeman. Sydney, a pretty happy kid. She looks over at the sideline, gives a thumbs up. Somebody must have said something encouraging. Big smile. And she comes on for the first time this afternoon. Yellowjacket throw. So the volleyball team and men's soccer team, the only two that competed yesterday. But there are a whole slew of events today. Unfortunately, men's tennis at Grove City has been postponed. But they are hoping that they can still compete at Penn State Barron at 4 o'clock. Isabel Smith takes this on one bounce. Both of those men's tennis matches were supposed to be true road contests. You don't often see that where a team will go play at 2 different schools on the same day. And I'm not talking about being on a neutral court and playing 2 different places. The plan was drive to Grove City, compete, drive about another hour and change to Penn State Barron and compete, and then drive home. You really don't see that very often, but that was the plan for tennis today. As of now, the Penn State Barron match is still on. Waiting to hear some of the results from the cross-country meet. The men's and women's cross-country team are competing down in the greater Akron area at the Tommy Evans Invitational. Men ran at 10:15. The women still might be going, but there's a chance that they've finished their competition, but no results posted yet from that meet. And it's an important opportunity for them because while they did run last week, it was an unscored meet down at Worcester. So it's the first chance for the Yellowjackets to get some mojo going.
9, Sophia Payne, and number 12, Marisol McKee.
All right, Sophia Payne and Marisol McKee checking on for Oberlin. The men's golf team was supposed to host a 36-hole tournament at Mallard Creek in Columbia Station this weekend. This ball's deflected out of the middle of the box. But that tournament has been altered. Instead of 18 today and 18 tomorrow with the poor weather, it's going to be a 27-hole tournament today, and that's it. And they will play as many holes as the weather will allow them to play today. But the goal is to play 27 today, and then that would be the end of today's competition for the men's golf team. They had a really nice showing last weekend when they won the Gatorade Collegiate Classic. They came in first place out of 8 teams down at Worcester. Lots of rounds in the 70s for the Yellowjackets last weekend as Rachel Bender had one awkwardly bounce off of her. Cuthbertson played it back forward. Thought Bender might have been offside, but instead it's a goal kick. So men's golf team, I'm sure they're playing now in some light rain. Mallard Creek is only about 20 to 25 minutes from campus, mostly just due west. Volleyball team competing in 2 more matches today after yesterday's couple of wins. Volleyball has Frostburg State at 1 o'clock, and then they will play the host institution, Brockport, at 3 o'clock. Men's soccer continues their Indiana road trip after losing yesterday at Manchester. Today at 2 o'clock they go against Anderson.
Coming in for BW, number 20, Alex Guido.
There's Alex Guido on for the Yellowjackets. 16-12 and counting here in the first half. 2-0 BW, a couple of Kayla Webb goals. Granneman tried to get involved quickly but committed the foul. And then, of course, the final event of the day will be right back here on this field of competition. The Yellowjacket football team opens their OAC schedule tonight with the Otterbein Cardinals after a long week of rest for them. They opened the regular season on Thursday last week with a lopsided 63-21 win over Alma College. And now they'll play an Otterbein team at 6 o'clock tonight here on this field. If you're interested in joining us, we'll have the broadcast for you later tonight. Yellowjackets win yet another ball in the midfield. Granneman's ball was deflected awkwardly, and a bad takedown. Quick whistle, easy call. I don't think there was any malicious intent behind it, but certainly not what Marcel McKee had in mind. And the Yellowjackets will take a free kick very close to the net. Kind of popped it. Rips it over the top of the bar. Women's golf team competes tomorrow, as do the ladies here on the soccer field. They've got Albion tomorrow at 1 o'clock. So 2 games this weekend for the Jackets on the soccer field. Oberlin makes a sub. Kat Bent, a junior from Lexington, Virginia, has just come on. And Dan Palmer has used most of his bench here in the first half. 2-0 Baldwin Wallace. Kayla Webb, so far the hero. Lucy Friedel rolls it across to Gluchowski. Actually, beg your pardon, that's Kimball. And an easy stop by Widener, was nowhere near the net. She dove on top of that, didn't have a ton of pressure. But Michaela Jones did go after it. Olivia Weeks, the left center back. Good win for her. Back forward to Kimball. She tried to swing it across. Lost it out of bounds. And an Oberlin corner kick. Weeks runs up to take it. By the way, one of the new things we're doing this year, and we certainly hope you'll enjoy it. We'd love to hear from you, by the way, on Twitter at BW Athletics to hear your thoughts. But we'll be having some post-game press conferences with all the teams after just about every home game. 12 and a half minutes left in the first half, and Weeks sends it too far over everybody. So usually the press conferences, which they don't air live, but we will record them and try to include some highlights from the games. We'll produce those and put those up on YouTube and link them on our social media accounts and on the website, bwyellowjackets.com. We try to get those up within a couple hours of the game concluding. Sometimes there are other things that prevent those from going up more quickly, but certainly for an afternoon game like this, we'll definitely have it posted later this afternoon or early this evening. Looking for Bender in the middle of the field. And a BW throw in the corner. 11:30 left in the first half. 2-0 Jackets. Anyways, a chance for you to hear right from head coach Jim Whitekin and a couple of players after, again, maybe not every game, but just about every game throughout the course of the year. Bender tried a bicycle kick, but she was very well marked in the box by Bethany Jen. Nice interception by Wenzinger. She's going to let it go, and Isabel Smith does a better job shifting over to keep that one out of the net. So anyways, keep your eye on the link for the post-game content. We'll certainly put it on Twitter and post it on our website here within a couple hours after the game is over. Now Oberlin on the move. Ricocheted awkwardly off of Webb. Crowd liked it. Still not raining hard, but it is drizzling a little bit. Throw in for BW. We're approaching 10 minutes left in regulation here in the first half. Baldwin Wallace out shooting Oberlin 7-4, and they have taken 6 of the last 7 shots overall, including the couple of goals by Kayla Webb this afternoon. That's the third foul on Oberlin, sets up another BW free kick. All right, Morgan Gray to take it. Sophomore from Dublin sends it on the way. Good ball right into the middle, but headed straight up in the air by McKee. She actually gets her head on it again. It's Kayla Webb right in front. It was booted away from her. Oh, Webb for just a split second was staring a hat trick in the first half right in the face. Wenzinger takes it away from Oberlin on a misplay by Kat Bent. Bender wins the ball. Rachel with the right foot. Low hopper toward the left post and a diving stop by Smith. Here comes a BW corner from Kenna Poptic. 2 more new Yellowjackets coming on here.
Coming in for BW, number 16, Bella Szymanski, and number 33, Margot Duvall.
So Duvall and Szymanski checking on. And they'll replace Kayla Webb, who gets a big hug from her teammates on that far side.
Number 10, Kenna Poptic.
And Isabel Regal also checks out. Poptic ready to take the corner. Bender circles around the top of the box. It swings in toward the back post, headed up in the air. Gray heads it toward the left back post. But it's across the touchline for a goal kick. Inside 8 minutes left in the first half. Kayla Webb's 2 first-half goals, the highlight this afternoon. Another opportunity in the middle of the field. Duvall tried to lay it outside. Back to Bender. Rachel turns, fires a rocket, and a great diving stop by Smith. Still alive. Back to Bender, one-time strike. Another diving save. A third look from Wenzinger. What an onslaught by BW offensively. Morgan Gray watches it roll out of bounds. That's the kind of momentum you really like to create if you're Baldwin Wallace. This has been a terrific first half for them. And they have not been afraid to take shots from all angles. Jim Boykin's group looks really good here in their home opener. Got off to a little bit of a slow start, but a very nice recovery after playing a lot of defense in the first 8 minutes or so. Jackets are held up here as they make another sub. Cassie Didion going to check on. And it's Bender who earns a breather over the final 5.5 minutes of this first half. Didion, a sophomore from Perkins High School in Sandusky. Poptic working with Bella Szymanski. Oberlin throw in. Oberlin's had 4 shots, but it feels like they have not taken one in quite some time. I know 3 of the first 4 shots came within the opening 10 minutes of the first half. The Jackets have now taken 11 of the last 12 shots in the game. Just to give you an idea of how the offense has really flipped around here in this first half. Great teamwork in the midfield. BW taken down again, and Szymanski thought perhaps she was fouled. A little slow to get to her feet. I'm impressed with BW's physicality. They've not made this easy on Oberlin at all. 4:14 left in the first half. Throw in for the Yo women. And now a sub on either side. For Oberlin College, Eva Coker, freshman from Sparkill, New York. And a Strongsville freshman, Caitlin Jerkago, checking on for Baldwin Wallace. Of course, Strongsville just up the road here. Strongsville High School is maybe 15 minutes from BW's campus. And their women's soccer program at Strongsville High School, especially the last few years, has been really, really good. They've got a history of developing some nice young players, and it's a good get for the Jackets. Kimball can't get around Josie Fenn. Corner kick, 3:10 and counting in the first half. On a rainy, gloomy Saturday afternoon in early September.
That's an Oberlin corner for number 6, Maddie Kimball.
Andy Milby, our head official, pointed to the corner. In swinger, good punch out by Widener. Nobody there to make a quick recovery, and a foul on Oberlin. That was the third Oberlin corner kick of the first half. Aggressive play by Morgan Gray. He commits the foul. 2 minutes to go before halftime. Our coverage of Yellowjacket soccer today brought to you by Dan Andrews and Olympic Forest Products, your global recycling company. With the right foot driven down. Sent back toward the net, but right at Widener. Also brought to you by Domino's Pizza in Berea, the official pizza provider of BW Athletics. Call us at 440-891-0030 or go online and order at domino's.com. .120 left in the first half, and it's been a first half dominated by Baldwin Wallace. I'm certain they're pleased with the way things have gone so far. Inside a minute remaining. Even if there are areas that Jim Woykin's group wants to try and clean up, you can't be disappointed when you're leading by 2 at the very tail end of the first half here. Jackets thought like maybe they had a chance to add another one. It's a foul on Michaela Jones. 23 seconds left. BW trying to keep an eye on the time here as they get set for what just might be the final play of the half. 11 seconds as Morgan Gray rolls it ahead. I think she kind of slipped and misstruck the ball.
4, 3,
and that'll end the half.
2, 1.
Kayla Webb with 2 goals in the first half. Her 3rd and 4th career collegiate goals. And the Yellowjackets have a 2-0 lead. We'll have the second half coming up in about 15 minutes here on BWYellowjackets.com. Welcome back on BWYellowjackets.com for the start of the second half as Baldwin Wallace leads Oberlin by a score of 2-0 in their home opener. Really solid first half, especially from Kayla Webb. I'm not sure you could possibly get more out of her so far. Already 2 goals, her first 2 of the season, and her 3rd and 4th goals of her collegiate career. Yellow Jackets in white, Oberlin in the dark red, and off we go here in the second half. Jackets outshot Oberlin 12-4 in the first half. Oberlin's goaltender, Isabel Smith, kind of had a rough go of it for a short stretch. She did come up with 6 saves in the first half, but really was peppered by shots as Oberlin tries to get things rolling here early in this second half. And a ball played across into the middle of the box and sent out of play, an early corner kick for the Yo women. Brendan Gulick with you on what is surprisingly not as wet a Saturday as we expected. It's very windy. It's cool outside, but it's not really raining, which is kind of hard to understand if you look at the radar. It's supposed to be a very wet afternoon. Widener comes out, and I don't know if I would say she kicks it away. She almost accidentally hit it with her foot, but nevertheless kept it out of the net. So Oberlin tries a second time. This is a high lofted corner, and that's a foul on Oberlin. You can't box out the goaltender. And Olivia Weeks, give her credit for the effort. She's kind of laughing as she puts her hands out at her sides, but that was an easy decision for the referee. I thought Rachel Bender played pretty well in the first half, too. She registered 4 shots, including some really high-quality looks. But they did not find the back of the net. But her teammate, Kayla Webb, certainly has given BW a lift. Kind of Poptic, looking for Bender up that far left flank. Oberlin's done that quite a bit. They've played a lot of balls way too far out in front of whomever they are aiming at. And it's become fairly routine for Widener. Webb and Cuthbertson working together here. Bender dangerously running down the backside of the formation as Cuthbertson goes down. And she doesn't seem right. Slowly getting back up to her feet. Hopefully she's okay. Good news is she is back up on her own power. Here's Kenna Stones. Rolls into the midfield. Webb. Way too much on that toward the corner. Yellow Jackets 2, Yo Women nothing. 3 minutes gone in the second half. BW will play at home again tomorrow afternoon. They will welcome Albion from the Michigan Intercollegiate Athletic Association. And the Jackets have a home game on Wednesday against the Wittenberg Tigers at 7 o'clock. And then the Jackets hit the road again. They'll play at Frostburg State, which is out in Maryland. That's next Saturday. Good job by the back line defensively. McKee sends it ahead. Lynham back to McKee. Off target to the right. Yeah, a couple of road games coming up for BW after their third of the 3 straight at home. They play at Frostburg State and then at Hiram on Tuesday, September 18th. So those are the next handful of games. Case Western Reserve not on the schedule this year for BW. The Jackets did play their cross-Cleveland opposition last year, but not here in 2018. Nice job defending Rachel Bender. All right, some good work here from Oberlin. Kimball got just a little bit of an opening, taken down by Wakeman, but it is a clean tackle. She got all ball, even though both players went down. 5 minutes into the second half. Baldwin Wallace still has that 2-0 lead. Bender back in the midfield. 4-on-4. Rachel trying to do maybe a little too much by herself there. And Lizzie Friedel sends it away. Bree Osborne got turned around the wrong way. Makes a nice recovery, though. Trying to still make this difficult as Widener comes out and pounces on it. Sydney Savarese with pretty good run after it. Dan Palmer clapping his hands on the far side. He likes the effort from his Yo women. BW commits a turnover in a bad part of the field, but Kayla Webb helps win it back, although it deflected off of her hand. So a free kick for Oberlin. BW preparing to make a sub. They're going to bring Anna Wenzinger back in. Here she comes, Kenna Stones, the sophomore from Dresden, heading out. Friedel gets it right back after a good accurate pass. Jones needs some help. Back to Friedel. Great takeaway. Cuthbert's in waiting for someone to catch up. It's Kayla Webb. Bender stays onside. Boy, she was half a step away from making it 3-0. Bender stays with it. They're going to tug at her all game long. It's just something that Rachel has to deal with as the top goal-scoring threat. This time Rachel called for being offside. Eight minutes into the second half. So far, nothing too crazy from either side. Baldwin Wallace 1-1 on the season. Oberlin at 1-2. And they are coming off of their only win. Madeline Lynham. Can't really get around Wakeman. Bender saying somebody's got to come to my aid. Now with the right foot all the way up the field. All right, scooped up by Isabel Smith. 36 minutes left in the game. Looks like Case Western Reserve and Ohio Northern are about 15 minutes into their contest, and there is no score, but that's a game we should really keep our eye on. Wilmington and Mount St. Joe is playing, and the Quakers have given up an early goal. It's 1-0, and they are in the 11th minute. Heidelberg hosting Defiance. They have scored early in the game. Goal by Becca Thomas, her first of the season. Heidelberg in the 14th minute has a 1-0 lead. The rest of the games are either later today or tonight. Cuthbertson Did touch that one with her left forearm. So plays ruled dead. I really like this attack with Cuthbertson in the middle. Bender out on one side. Kayla Webb right behind Claire. And on the other wing, you've got Caitlin McGuire. I've seen Rachel come back to the right side here at this point, and you wonder if some of that is just strategy. Rachel's pretty good with both her right foot and left foot. Morgan Gray, and that's a goal kick. So sometimes for Rachel, it's not so much about trying to play to her strong side, but more which side is a better matchup for the Yellow Jacket offense and which of her teammates is out there, since Rachel's pretty versatile. Fenn, Osborne, Gray, and Poptic. Pretty solid back line at the moment. Looking over toward Wakeman. It's off Cass Wakeman. Bethany Jen sends it forward. Jen will get it back. Wide open, unmarked, Lucy Friedel. And she misses wide right. That's a pretty good-looking shot from Oberlin. Yes, it came from a long way out, but uncontested. Good look. 33-20 left in regulation. Kayla Webb's goals in the 7th minute and the 14th minute. Check that. My math is wrong. The 17th minute and the 24th minute. Those are the only two strikes of the game. Oberlin closing in on potentially cutting this lead in half. Ooh, that one caught Fenn awkwardly. Hopefully Josie's all right. Corner kick coming for the Yo women. Maddie Kimball will take it.
Number 6, Maddie Kimball.
Kimball with the right leg, curls it in. Kayla Webb chests it up. It's deflected away, put in the back of the net. Oberlin with a great goal. And it's cut to a 2-1 game.
That's an Oberlin goal scored by number 16, Lucy Friedel.
The goal is for Lucy Friedel. Really nice, persistent effort. And Oberlin gets their first goal of the game. And for Friedel, that's her team-leading 3rd of the season. It comes with still 32 minutes left in the game. Meanwhile, Casey Didion comes on, and she replaces Caitlin McGuire. Well, game on. You know the old saying, 2-0 lead in soccer is an awfully dangerous lead. And Oberlin proving why. Now they've got momentum. See what they can do here. Long ball played ahead. Off Morgan Gray's foot. Kind of rolls away. Yellow Jacket throw in. Now, if you're Oberlin right now, look, you're trailing 2-1. But the second goal, while it was a good shot from Kayla Webb, Oberlin is probably sitting here feeling like it was kind of fluky because it was not a hard shot. It was a long shot that bounced in front of Isabel Smith. And I don't know if it can be attributed to a wet surface or a lapse in concentration. But whatever happened, it bounced in front of Smith. She thought she had her hand on it. And the ball deflected off of her hand and then rolled into the back of the net. It's tucked inside the right corner. No matter how you look at it, if you're an Oberlin fan, it was a tough one to swallow. So they're probably feeling like they very much still belong in this game. BW played extremely well in the final 30 minutes of the first half, but here we are 60 minutes into action, and the Jackets have a 2-1 lead and certainly can't rest on it. Wakeman rolls it into the middle. Then she drills it off of Cuthbertson. Osborne overcommitted. Lynham sends it forward. Kind of Poptic in the interception. Well, with a long ball ahead. Webb and Wakeman not on the same page there, and the Yellowjackets turn it over. Michaela Jones. Kimball keeps her feet and knocks it off of Fenn. Josie Fenn has gotten kind of beaten up. Actually, I beg your pardon. That did not deflect off of Josie. There's two more Yellowjackets coming on, but it still feels like Fenn has really worked hard.
And number 24, Sydney Graneman. And coming in for Oberlin, number 22, Eva Kocher.
Szymanski and Graneman returning for BW. Eva Kocher back out there for Oberlin. Oberlin playing with as much confidence right now as they've had all game. And even though the weather is fairly cool, the rain has stopped, and it's created a fairly comfortable playing surface as Bender applies some real pressure to Isabel Smith. Really hasn't rained much throughout the whole game. Just some drizzle here and there. Well, an accident there as the official kind of got caught up in the play. BW brings on another sub. Cuthbertson coming out.
Coming in for BW, number 20, Alex Guido.
Alex Guido, sophomore from Eisenhower High School in Michigan, takes her spot. Inside 27 minutes left in the second half. Good defense from Caitlin Jerkago. Actually, beg your pardon, that was Sydney Graneman who had just come on. Jerkago we saw in the first half for a little bit, but she's not out there at the moment. Bethany Jen thought she had an opening. Josie Fenn sends that one forward, but it wasn't really at Rachel Bender. Kimball slots it back into the middle of the field. Coker had it taken right off her foot. Guido, good work. Wenzinger helps her too. 25-30 left in regulation. The Jackets have a 2-1 lead, but Oberlin right now definitely has some momentum. BW's having trouble working it to their best playmaker and Rachel Bender. She just hasn't had a lot of touches this second half after taking 4 shots in the first half, 2 of which came in rapid succession. Bender's been pretty well marked. And after leading the team with 18 goals last year, she has not scored in the first 2.5 games here in 2018. Academic All-American Rachel Bender playing right forward at the moment. Szymanski tried to take it away. Wenzinger up ahead. Controlled by Guido. Bender came to it, beats her defender. Clanton just trying to come in behind her as Bender lofts it toward the back of the net. Over the top. It was a good little play.
Coming in for BW, number 14, Caitlin Jerkago.
So here is Jerkago back out there. She replaces Kenna Poptic. Good work by Bree Osborne. Poor clearance on the near side. Still alive for the Jackets. Now Bender. Thought she could get around Sammy Clanton on the outside. It didn't work. Fenn turns back toward the sideline. Now it's an Oberlin throw. .23 minutes left in regulation. Kind of a sloppy second half at the moment. Our coverage of Yellowjacket Soccer is brought to you by the Comfort Inn in Middleburg Heights, where your comfort's just a part of the service we provide our guests. By the Oswald Company, they handle all of your insurance and risk management needs. And by Arena 51 Laser Tag in Middleburg Heights, prepare for battle. If you tuned in a little late, I'm Brendan Gulick. This is the 68th minute of action. Kayla Webb scoring in the 17th minute and 24th minute. Her first 2 goals of the year. And the Yellowjackets, well, they've surrendered once, but otherwise have hung on to the lead. Hoping to get back at Oberlin after losing 3-1 at Oberlin last year. Gave up a couple goals in the second half to eventual NCAC Offensive Player of the Year. Of course, that was Gwenny Gardner, conference's top goal scorer. 21 goals for the Yo women a year ago. Ooh, that one didn't feel good. Right off of Madeline Lynham. Fenn throws it in. Right-footed into the middle of the box. Bree Osborne got beat by Savarese. Widener decides to pull back on it. Good job by Osborne to recover here. Throw-in coming for Maddie Kimball. He was an all-conference player a year ago. Second team All-NCAC. Right off the post, Oberlin so close to tying the game. Boy, that came quickly. On a perfect ball played in the box. And then a ringer off the left post. Sydney Savarese denied a game-tying goal. Oberlin has definitely won this second half. And it feels like BW is clinging to their 2-1 lead. Whatever momentum Baldwin Wallace had early on, it seems to have evaporated. Maybe Rachel Bender can help recover some of that here. Bender along the touchline. Her pass back toward the middle. Kicked out of bounds. Good defense. Bethany Jen helped send it out. A little surprised that Bender didn't try to cut that back into the middle herself. She's a pretty authoritative player. Just hasn't had a lot of touches today. That's a long, high shot sent from Graneman's right foot, well over the bar out of play. 18:42 and counting.
Coming in for Oberlin, number 7, Michaela De Lemos, and number 23, Olivia Smith.
Jones and Coker replaced by Smith and De Lemos.
And coming in for BW, number 7, Kayla Webb.
And while Kayla Webb returning, I imagine she'll probably stay out there for the rest of the game. Subs on here for Bella Szymanski. Osborne working with Widener. Not really a very good ball played back to her. Widener almost had to throw that one off of Kimball. Instead, Kimball going to try and beat Fenn baseline. Good job by Morgan Gray to clear that out. That's an obvious foul by Bethany Jen. Isabel Smith, one of 3 goalkeepers on the team, and the only freshman. The other 2, Emma Gordon and Jordan Morris, are both seniors from Berkeley, California, and Calabasas, California, respectively. Morris over 1,300 minutes last year, backed up by Emma Gordon, who did play in 6 games. So Oberlin must be pretty high on Isabel Smith. Perhaps Morris is unavailable. We were not given an injury report beforehand from Otterbein, as Bender almost found it right in the middle of the box. Certainly don't want to make any poor assumptions, but to think that Jordan Morris, as a senior and played a ton of time last year, not playing today, and has not played yet this year, does make you wonder why. Bender, she's open, takes a shot toward the bottom left. It's deflected out and then back in the goal. Alex Guido. The Jackets lead it 3-1.
That's a BW goal for number 20, Alex Guido.
First career collegiate goal for Alex Guido. And the Jackets answer back nicely.
And coming in for BW, number 6, Michaela Henline.
That's the effect that Rachel Bender has as the Yellowjackets make a sub with Michaela Henline, a freshman from Huber Heights, Wayne, and Dayton, takes over at right center back for Bree Osborne. That's the effect that Rachel Bender has, even when she has an opening. Perhaps there is an injured Oberlin player on the far side of the field. Starting to drizzle a little bit again here in Berea. And the head athletic trainer for Baldwin Wallace, Gary Miller, is taking a look at one of the Yo women. That's Lucy Friedel. In the meantime, play resumes with 16 minutes to go. Anyways, back to that thought on Bender. Rachel has the ability, when she finds some open space on the field, to just throw the ball on the net. And when you do that, good things tend to happen. When you're testing a freshman goalkeeper who made a nice diving save, denying a goal from Bender, but when she doesn't pull that in cleanly, and you've got alert players like Alex Guido crashing down, it becomes an easy knock-in goal. Now Bender has a chance, but she's a step offside here. So Rachel Bender just proving to be a really valuable piece, even when she isn't scoring here in the first few games of the season.
Coming in for Oberlin, number 60, Lucy Friedel.
Lucy Friedel coming back into the ball game. Webb working with Regal. Let's see, with this particular group, with Regal out there, Bender moves up to the left-hand side of the field. Rachel was on the right-hand side on the attack when Caitlin McGuire was out there. There's the offside flag. 14:20 in counting left in regulation. And all that momentum that Oberlin had created in the first 30 minutes of this second half, first 25 minutes of the second half, it seems to have all evaporated with that Yellow Jacket third goal. That's a big one. Colin Oberlin. Yellowjackets have the wind at their back here this half, and it's a pretty steady breeze. I don't know if I would say that it's windy, but it's definitely breezy. Consistently 8 to 10 miles an hour at the moment, blowing across left to right, and the way you're looking, perhaps a little bit toward you. Morgan Gray, long ball up, headed just wide right. In fact, it was off Oberlin, and so a corner kick for Baldwin Wallace. Jackets make another sub. Josie Fenn coming out. Josie certainly plays
coming
hard.
In for BW, number 10, Kenna Poptic.
As Kenna Poptic returns. Poptic's going to go take the corner kick.
And that's a BW corner also for number 10, Kenna Poptic.
Bender swirls around. Poptic lobs it toward the back post. Loose right in the middle of the box. But the goal is waved off. There must have been a Baldwin Wallace foul in the box, although I don't see who it was whistled on. But our head referee, Andy Milby, blew the whistle quickly. Not a lot of pressure there on Sophia Widener. Less than 12 minutes remaining in the game. BW continues to lead. They have never trailed in this home opener. Bender, nice takeaway. Tries to get started here with a little shimmy to the right. Pretty well defended though, and she doesn't have an opening to shoot immediately until that one. It ricochets off of Smith, and it's put in the net after the offside flag went up. Another goal waved off. Now that one was disappointing because Bender let it fly from a long way out. But I have to imagine the official got it right if he was standing right on the line there. He seemed to be in the right position. And obviously we don't have the benefit of replay, so we'll trust his judgment. Two more subs.
Coming in for Oberlin, number 10, Michaela Jones. And coming in for BW, number 25, Maddie Farrell.
So one new player either way here. Bender plays it into the middle. A chance for Maddie Farrell. Now Kayla Webb, who's got 2 goals already, drills it off of Maricel McKee and wins the corner. 10 minutes left in the game. Again, keep your eye on our website here, bwyellowjackets.com, and our social media platforms post-game. Sometime within the couple of hours after the game is over, we will post a post-game press conference with Jim Whitekin and a couple of his players. Of course, the Jackets are hoping that they'll have a chance to talk about a win, but still got some work to do before that can be the case. Widener comes up and clears it out. BW is certainly in good position to pick up their 2nd win of the year, but they need to finish it off strong. Lucy Friedel scoring the only Oberlin goal. Alex Guido got the 3rd goal after the first 2 from Kayla Webb. Webb turns and sends it forward. Farrell with the right foot swings it over toward Bender. A couple additional Yellowjackets look like they're getting ready to come in. Bender stayed on side here. Rachel with the left foot centers it across and just swung it over Maddie Farrell. Ooh. Great effort by Anna Wenzinger, but slipped and fell pretty hard on the edge of the playing surface and down onto the track. Hopefully she's okay.
And coming in for BW, number 3, Bree Osborne.
Bree Osborne back in for Morgan Gray.
Also coming in for BW, number 30, Cassandra Wakeman.
So Kayla Webb heads out.
As well as number 31, Andrea Scatino.
And Amanda Donahue for BW also checking out. Near side throw in for Caitlin Jerkego. Then over the final few minutes here, you're kind of getting a look at the future of BW soccer. A lot of young players. Really the only veteran that's still out there is Bender, but just about everybody else doesn't have a ton of experience yet. Kind of Poptic is there too, and obviously she has been a mainstay. But lots of different players getting opportunities today. Goal kick here with 7 minutes to go. And when you have a 3-1 lead, you can afford to do those kinds of things. It's important to try to get lots of different faces involved. Jim Woykin does a pretty good job of that. Widener picks it up, 6:35 on the clock. Again, BW will play at home tomorrow against Albion. It's a 1 o'clock kickoff. So back-to-back games this weekend, just as they had last weekend. The challenge is Sidney Graneman went after it. Bender helps keep this one in play. Rips it with the right foot. It rings off the bar. Rachel Bender denied from long range. Sent back in, deflected, and a diving save as Alex Guido nearly scored her second of the game. Looking back for Bender. Rain starting to pick back up here in Berea. Oh boy, this is not good. Widener barely comes out of play to grab that ball. BW's back line, as the game has worn on, they have shown some weaknesses here. Got to be better at trying to close things out. Even if it works out for them today, you can't create bad habits and then expect good things to happen late in the season. Free kick given. It'll be taken by Bethany Jen. 4:45 on the clock. Oberlin down 3-1. Jen with a good one. Wide right, though. Clock stops at 4:34.
Josie Fenn.
And it stops only briefly when the home team makes a sub in the final 5 minutes of the game. The clock stops. On some levels, that might be some gamesmanship, but at the college, in the college game, that's how they do it. Bender and Guido working together. Nice job by Alex Guido. And now Farrell sidesteps, looks around, lofts it ahead. Bender's onside as she tries to run onto it. But it's cleared nicely by Olivia Weeks, who I think has probably been the most valuable Yo women today. I realize that Lucy Friedel has scored her third goal of the year, but Olivia Weeks has essentially negated Baldwin Wallace's best player. .330 on the clock. BW throws it in. Sent into the middle. Good work by Bender. Turns and shoots wide right. 9th shot of the game by Rachel Bender. She's still getting her looks. Oberlin down 2 with 3 minutes to go, and they are trying everything they can to make this work late here. Good effort in the midfield by Bethany Jen. And a foul whistled against BW. Jen will take a free kick right at midfield with 2.5 minutes remaining. Not a lot of highlights in the second half for Baldwin Wallace, but they have done enough. And after they got that third goal, it seemed to really help things. Nice job by Isabel Smith. Send that one out and not give Rachel Bender 20 yards to build up toward the net.
2 minutes remaining in the final half.
Smith living dangerously there, but kicks it out okay. .90 seconds left. Fenn throws it in near side. She'll do it again. Well, Oberlin fighting to the finish, but today's just not going to be their day. BW outshot the Yo women 21-10 at this point. Kayla Webb will be our player of the game with 2 goals. Her first brace of her collegiate career. And the Yellowjackets are going to move to 2-1 with back-to-back wins for the first time this season. Even though Rachel Bender didn't score, her 9 shots today really made a big difference. And while she doesn't get credit for an assist, she was a part of basically all of the scoring again this afternoon. Under 30 seconds remaining. Widener out to pick it up off the wet turf. Bender
10,
pushed over.
9, 8,
She
7,
seems to be okay.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
There's a final whistle. Baldwin Wallace, a 3-1 winner this afternoon over Oberlin. Again, Kayla Webb with a great effort. A 2-goal performance for her. And BW goes to 2-1 on the season. Oberlin falls to 1-3.
So that's going to
Yellowjackets are back at home tomorrow afternoon. A 1 o'clock affair against Albion. We hope you'll join us for that one on BWYellowjackets.com. I'm Brendan Gulick. Have a great rest of your weekend, and hope maybe you'll join us at 6 o'clock tonight for our football game tonight. Otterbein is in town to face BW right here at Finnie Stadium. We'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us.